Who's there? Jarvan who? Valor! I've got friends in high places.
Quinn is the newest champion to come out of Riot Games. Along with her partner Valor, they make a very good AD carry team. From Quinn with her crossbow and Valor with his claws, I see great potential for these two. Harrier is Quinn and Valor's passive. Valor periodically marks enemies as vulnerable. When Quinn attacks this vulnerable target, she will deal bonus physical damage to that target. Blinding Assault is Quinn's Q. Valor flies in a line and strikes the first enemy in his path. He then attacks all nearby enemies with physical damage and blinds them through a splash damage AoE effect. Heightened Sense is Quinn's W. It has a passive ability. When attacking a vulnerable target, Quinn's attack speed will be increased for 3 seconds. When activated, Valor reveals a large area around her for 2 seconds. This ability does not cost any mana.
Need eyes on him.
Quinn's E is Volt. Quinn dashes to an enemy dealing damage and bounces off them, as well as slowing them. She bounces off to have maximum attack range from this, and Valor automatically marks the enemy as vulnerable. Quinn's ultimate is Tag Team. The ultimate swaps Quinn for Valor and gives Valor an 80% movement speed boost. However, this decreases while in combat. Valor receives all of Quinn's moves, however, as he is a melee fighter, 2 abilities change. One of the abilities changed is Q. Instead of firing Valor, the ability just does the Q's effects around Valor in an AoE. With Quinn's E, Valor doesn't bounce off, he just does the damage and the split. Upon activating the ultimate again, or when it runs out, Quinn returns to the field in a hail of arrows, which do damage in a large AoE. Hello guys, and today we have Papa D early here with Talk and Dime. Today we have Quinn and Valor, the newest champion to come out of Riot, and as always we're going to ask a few questions. I realize you guys haven't been posting comments for questions, but it's okay, I'm just going to keep asking the basic ones. Remember, if you want a question asked about a champion that you think is better than something I'm doing, please let me know. Okay, so hello Papa D.
Hey, what's going on?
What do you like about Quinn and Valor so far?
The fact that even though she's a ranged character, like from the release, I noticed that she would be really defensive, like more than an AD carry. Like,
yeah,
with her abilities, how they play out, and her utility, it seems that you could easily play her as strong as any other bruiser in this game.
Okay. Yeah, and that, I guess that kind of shows from the armor that she's wearing. She's not just your regular archer.
And at the present moment, really the only ranged bruiser I could think of, Thresh not being one because he's still a melee,
yeah,
would be Urgot, and he's a bit lacking in that department.
Yeah, fair enough, fair enough. What don't you like about Quinn and Valor to start off with?
The fact that even though her abilities are quite good, I really enjoy them. They're very weak in terms of offense. I guess that's good, because if they scale too highly, then you would just be wrecking people left and right.
Okay.
But I mean, with all the passives and all the mumbo jumbo going on, when you use your ult, you basically kill everyone.
Okay.
So I guess it's all focused on that one ability.
If you were to fix what you said was wrong, would that be purely increasing the scaling, or would you change some of the abilities in general?
Well, see, right now, all of the abilities basically set up for that ult.
Okay.
Because if you use your E, you get pushed away from the opponent, which could be an escape ability, but when you use your ult, you don't get pushed away, which is good.
Okay.
So basically, all of it's really set up for the ultimate ability. So if I was going to change it, I would take away some of that, pressure on the ult, and
Okay, yeah.
maybe put it back into just her normal form.
Okay, yeah, give her something, give her a reason to stay in her normal form, I guess.
Mm.
So what do you recommend building so far? I know you've only played a little bit of Quinn and Valor, but what would you recommend, just having a look at how she's playing, how would you recommend she would be builded?
Well, right now my build's not exactly perfect, as you can see, but just off the top of my head, I go with pretty heavy offense,
Okay.
but little attack speed.
Okay.
So maybe a Bloodthirster or an Infinity Edge, and definitely a Trinity Force for that Q.
Okay.
But attack speed boots would probably be good because you do need attack speed. It's not as
Okay.
if just completely ignore it, but don't focus so heavy on it like you would with an AD carry. You can go and buy a Frozen Mallet. You can go and buy a Mercurial Scimitar or something like that.
Okay.
And you will still have the attack speed that you need.
Yeah. So you don't recommend building attack speed, even though her passive is one of the better scaled abilities?
Well, that only procs every so often. Like, as you can see, the bird comes down, and then you have to wait for it to come back. Whether you have a large attack speed or not, you still have to wait for that passive.
Okay, yeah.
And like I said before, when you use your ultimate, you've got that much attack speed that you don't need to worry because of your W's passive.
Okay. What do you reckon she'll bring to the matchmaking scene?
Well, she's got some pretty heavy crowd control,
Okay.
and I reckon she'd be a pretty good assassin, even though, like I said before, she's a good bruiser and she could
Yeah.
build a lot of defense, but you could get into a fight and take someone out, and then you could, once your bird form's gone, you could become the AD carry of the team again.
Yeah. Okay. And just a final thing that I'm just going to add in at the very end here. Do you think that her Q should go through enemies and not just hit?
Well, considering that it's blinding, it's probably better that it only hits the enemy. But it's not like it only hits one, because you could hit it on a minion and it would completely miss who you were targeting for.
Yeah.
The fact that it explodes on its little location is pretty good, so I reckon that doesn't really need to be changed, because if it went through enemies, it would lack more damage because you'd need to balance it.
Okay. Are you aware that when you say her Q explodes, the Q is the bird?
Yeah. It's a kamikaze bird.
And finally,
Oh,
do you agree
speaking
she
of
has
birds.
an endless supply of birds?
Oh yeah, birds.
Oh
Birds
yeah,
everywhere.
bird. Alright, thank you for talking to us. We are going into bird form and Daniel's running away. We
Hey,
will
running.
we will see you guys next time for another talking time with either Papa D or MGN. See you guys later.
Oh yes.